All right, let's dive right in. We're going to get our hands dirty with the absolute bedrock of JavaScript. The code that makes pretty much every website and app you use actually work. We're going to talk about a really simple but powerful idea, how programs remember stuff. I mean, have you ever really thought about it? You log into a website, and boom, it says, "Welcome back, Sarah," or whatever your name is. How does it know? It's not magic, I promise. It's a fundamental piece of programming that we're about to break down. So here's the secret. It's all thanks to something called a variable. And the best way to think about a variable is to picture it as a little box. Yep, a storage container. It's just a named spot in the computer's memory where we can tuck away a piece of information for later. Okay, so if variables are these handy little memory boxes, how do we actually, make one and put something inside? Let's walk through exactly how that works. It's really just a simple two-step dance. First, over there on the left, you've got step 1, which we call declaration. When we type let score, we're basically telling the computer, hey, go grab an empty box for me and slap a label on it that says score. Then, in step 2, initialization, we say score equals 100, and that's us opening the box and putting the number 100 inside. Simple, right? First you make the box, then you fill it. Now, here's a little twist. Not all boxes are created equal. On one hand, you have let. Think of a let box as a regular old box with a lid you can pop on and off. You can change what's inside whenever you need to. Your score in a game, for example, is definitely going to change, so you'd use let. But on the other hand, we have const. This is more like putting something in the box and then supergluing it shut. It's for constants, values you set once and want to make absolutely sure never ever change. So, we've got our boxes, some reusable, some sealed shut, but what kind of stuff can we actually put inside them? Well, this is where we get into the different data types in JavaScript. First up, we have the string. A string is just text, plain and simple. It can be a word, a sentence, a single letter, anything you can type. But here's the one rule you have to remember. It's always got to be wrapped in quotation marks. That's how you tell JavaScript, hey, treat this as text, not a command. It's kind of like writing a message on a slip of paper before you put it in the box. And here's the classic example, right? Hello, JavaScript. See those double quotes around it? That's the big signal. That tells the program, hey, don't try to figure this out. It's not code. It's just a bunch of characters I want you to remember. Okay, next up, we've got the number data type. This is for, well, numbers. It could be a whole number, like 10, or a decimal, like 3.14. If a string is like that slip of paper, a number is more like a solid, heavy block. It's a totally different kind of thing. Take a look at this, the number 2026. Notice anything? Or notice what's missing? There are no quotes. And that's everything. The lack of quotes is how JavaScript knows this is a real number that it can do math with, not just the characters 2, 0, 2, and 6 sitting next to each other. And our third core type is the Boolean. This one is super simple, but unbelievably powerful. A Boolean is basically a light switch. It can only be on or off. In programming terms, that's true or false, yes or no. That's it. There's no in between. And this is exactly how it's used all the time. You could have a variable called isLoggedIn and set it to true. Then the program can check that switch. Is the switch on? Great, show them their profile. Is the switch off? Okay, send them to the logging page. This simple true or false idea is literally the foundation for all decision-making in code. So we have strings for text, numbers for math, and booleans for making choices. But why are we making such a big deal about the difference? Well, because the type of data you put in the box completely, and I mean completely, changes how the program treats it. Oh man, this slide right here says it all. Check this out. On the left, we take the number 7 and add the number 4. JavaScript sees two numbers, so it does what you'd expect, math, and we get 11. But now look at the right. We take the string 7 and add the string 4. Because they're in quotes, JavaScript doesn't see numbers anymore, it sees text. And when you add text, it just smushes them together. So 7 plus 4 becomes the string 74. Wild, right? And it all boils down to this one really simple but totally crucial idea. Different data types are treated differently. The kind of thing you put in the box fundamentally changes what the program will do. That plus sign did two completely different jobs, all depending on whether it's on numbers or strings. So let's just do a super quick recap. Number 1, variables are just labeled boxes for holding on to data. Easy. Number 2, use let for things that are going to change and const for things that you want to lock in place. And finally, number 3, the type of data you put in that box, string, number, a Boolean, is everything because it dictates what your program can actually do with that information.
Getting a handle on these memory boxes is honestly the first huge step to learning how to code. This isn't just abstract theory. This is the toolkit you need to build literally anything you can dream up. So now that you know the secret of how programs remember things, the only real question left is, what are you going to teach them to do?